In other news, an admitted child molester is spending his first night of a life sentence in prison tonight. Johnathon Carrizalez entered his guilty plea at the Lubbock County Courthouse this afternoon.
KCBD News Channel 11's Natalie Falkenberry was there and joins us now with details of the case. Natalie?
Karen and Abner, Carrizalez had 4 pending charges against him, 2 first-degree felonies and 2 second-degree felonies, all charges relating to sexual abuse of minors. Today, he received a life sentence after pleading guilty to 1 aggravated sexual assault of a child. I spoke with both the defense attorneys and prosecutors about why this case didn't go to trial.
We made the offer to plead to life on one of the cases. We think it's a great result and really was the only thing we felt comfortable with on this case because of the violent nature of his offenses.
Lauren Murphy, the lead prosecutor on the case against Johnathon Carrizalez, says one of those offenses was back in May of 2021 when Carrizalez attempted to kidnap a 15-year-old girl who was jogging near 50th and I-27. It was that case that jump-started the investigation into Carrizalez. After the initial charge, Carrizalez was linked to at least 3 other sexual assault cases throughout Lubbock, including against victims that were known to the defendant.
This defendant was unique in that he victimized those close to him, members of his own family, but also complete strangers, and so it's also good for the safety of the community.
Murphy tells us the state offered the plea to prevent victims from having to relive the trauma caused by Carrizalez during a trial. Also, a factor for the plea was the amount of evidence that had been obtained by LPD.
One of the detectives with the Metro unit was able to finally narrow down the suspects and the information, and they believed they had their suspect, and then they just continued to stay on his trail and were able to identify him, and then DNA was able to link it back to each of the victims.
However, for the defense, the plea was the only way that Carrizalez may ever get out of prison.
Mr. Carrizalez had 3 options: either plead, have a chance at parole, go to trial, and possibly receive a sentence with no parole, or not guilty. And I think after looking at the evidence and our advice, as you saw by his plea, he chose to plead where he has a chance to parole.
Carrizalez's other charges were dismissed as a part of the plea. He'll be eligible for parole in 30 years. Karen and Abner.
Thank you, Natalie.